Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I try to pray all day for the syncing on Rumble, but I also post on the blogger stuff there on my site there for at least archive purposes, and also on Patreon here. Later today I might get around to publish the XCOM 2 episode. I've been having a lot of issue with the software that I use. I'm going to try to trick it out with another software, so I have to tinker with the audio and all that stuff there, and maybe I will get around and manage to publish the XCOM 2 gameplay here. It gets a little choppy, at least I think it's choppy. I don't like that much the quality that is coming out, but at the moment it's the best that I can do. I will try to use another software. I don't know if it is some uncompatibility or something like that, a little bug regarding, because it only happens with XCOM 2. The other games I use the same software also, and it's always good. I don't have any issues at all. But yeah, it is what it is. I will try to get around today, and if I manage, I will use again the other software to record at least the XCOM 2 the XCOM 2 gameplay series with that software, because I really enjoy the game, and it's a shame that at least the video part it's not the best in some episodes, but yeah, I will try to get around that. Not much happening, at least that caught my interest. I managed to get around to getting a more in-depth review on the Intel new CPUs, and yeah, basically the title is quite correct. It's the same CPUs with another names. It's like a little bit refresh. They just put it a little bit of just 100 megahertz here, and then in one of the SQs they put a little bit more E-cores, but in terms of performance it's basically all the same. It's almost within range basically of margin of error. It's in some extreme cases we might get like 3.5-4% better performance, but yeah, the only positive there is if you don't there is no like huge positives. The only thing that it can do, it's placed on the same socket that the previous generation, the 1300 series, it accepts the same thing, so at least that. But yeah, if you have like even like 1200s and 11, I think 11, it's not worth it to upgrade. It's still a little bit marginal. But yeah, and it still performs in the same that the 13 generation, and so to a certain degree, at least in terms of performance per watt, it completely get wasted with the AMD CPUs, even the higher ends. This is one of the reasons that I choose for my machine to build an AM5 platform kind of rig here. I got the 7700X. I'm very satisfied with the performance. I don't have basically any issues. I got to tell you that I don't use them for like huge applications, like the ones that pull the CPUs to the limit. That's why I always stayed with the 7700X. If I had a little bit more budget at the time, I had jumped to the 7800X 3D, mainly because I use it gets almost the same performance that the 7700X in terms of application, but for the gaming thing. But yeah, I play 4K games, so there is like huge amount of performance distance playing in 4K. I get basically throttled when I do for the GPU. But yeah, the AM5 platform is pretty good. Even like the lower end, the 7600 Non-X, it's pretty good to do all the mainly stuff, and even in terms of productivity works pretty well. So and they don't spend too much in terms of wattage. They don't get too hot if you have like a normal cooler. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. At least in terms of CPUs, I watched some in-depth reviews just to reach that conclusion. I just wanted to tell you all basically that it's it. I know it's been a few weeks here, but time is a little bit precious for me, and I managed to get around and watch that. But yeah, We continue with hardware, and with the thing here, I already talked about this one. GPUs that bring some SSD slots. Again, companies will spin this as an excellent thing. It can be, depending on very specific cases, and usually those cases are very rare. If you buy a PC to gaming, for gaming, this is not the GPU that you usually go through, which is a 4060 Ti, especially the 8 GB one. 16 GB is the same in terms of performance. It can deal a little bit better with textures, something that needs more memory capacity but not more memory bandwidth. And the thing here, mainly it can use the SSD here and take advantage of the PCI connection here to the motherboard, mainly because the 4060s, 47 no, but the 4060 Ti and even the 4060, the non-Ti, they are basically limited in terms of bandwidth that they can use on the PCI slot. So I think it's throttled to PCI, I'm not sure, I think it's PCI 4 8X. Usually they are 16X, they can usually take advantage of the full PCI. And I think it will not be good for every, of course, every motherboard, because if you have like a PCI 3, it can take advantage of that bandwidth still, but not from the SSD, because the PCI 4 8X is the same thing as PCI 3 16X. If not mistaken, I think that's, you do the math, it's like the double thing. If you have like a motherboard with the PCI Express 5.0, you're not buying one of these because it's a very expensive motherboard. I don't know why you would buy here. Again, just in a very, very, very specific case, like a small form factor case, but still you have better components to deal with. If you're building, usually it can be a little bit more expensive than a normal build, because usually the case itself can be a little bit more expensive. The components have to be way better, so because of the heat problem on smaller cases. But yeah, this is the company is trying to do a spin, and then, oh, you can put an SSD and a GPU also and take advantage of that, the fact that supposedly it can handle a PCI 5 Express speeds and everything. But yeah, you are limited to the motherboard PCI version also. So it's not one size fits all on this case. So pay very close attention when you're if you're thinking about buying one of these. Usually it's not the best option if you're just buying a GPU to play. It can't even, I assume, if not mistaken from what I saw at the time, it can throttle your GPU performance and or the NVMe. So it is a little bit of a spin for them to try to sell this kind of GPUs. Don't buy on this shenanigans sometimes, because it depends on the case itself. Depends what you trying to put, what kind of system you're trying to put this GPU. If you're thinking about putting one of these GPUs, you got better GPUs, even without the NVMe stuff. Even from previous generations, they can deal at the same price or lower with equal or better performance. So yeah, it is what it is. Regarding other stuff here, we continue with the saga with Western Digital and the such. At this moment, again, they didn't confirm anything officially, Western Digital and Kioxia, regarding their supposedly acquiring each other, so a merge. But they did confirm that they are going to split up into main companies. One is going to be focused on HDDs and one on flash memory, which is like SSDs and NVMe's and VRAM stuff, all of that stuff. They're going to split in both of them. Mainly, of course, is financial. The server market still uses huge amounts of HDDs. Mainly because of their capacity to store a lot of information. Got 20 terabytes. I think they are coming products in the pipeline for around 5 years. I think they want to, I don't know, hundreds of terabytes of storage in this format, 3.5 inch format. And of course, you got some home stuff, but their main business is data centers for everything that needs some storage capacity here. And they will continue to focus again the other part of the company on the flash stuff. So everything that it's got a chip there. It doesn't have like spin platers and everything, and that's mainly because of how the market is at the moment. And I think it's a smart decision. The physical rotating spinning kind of a thing, HDDs, they will still continue throughout several years yet, mainly because it compensate. They are cheaper to manufacture. And they have huge amounts of capacity in terms of storage. And of course, if when I buy one like a NAS or something equivalent, like a home server, I will go for storage and reliability. I'm saying wrongly that word. But to be more reliable and to have huge amounts of capacity. So we're going to have like several disks to handle the data, duplicate data, and this is the way to go at the moment. Even though, of course, depends on the kind of operations. If you need some editing kind of scratch this, of course you go for the NVMe's or SSDs, that they are way faster than the HDDs. But yeah, for server stuff, I think it still compensates for the next few years to get an HDD working. But yeah, it's mainly because of the NAND-based flash struggling to regain momentum in a post-pandemic world. Okay, not everybody has infinite. These companies they have their focus on infinite growth. If they continue like this, they will start. That's why you see a lot of layoffs and all that stuff, and mergers and cutbacks and everything, because they just want to make profits. Infinite growth of profits. It doesn't work like that. We are in a finite world with finite resources in some cases, and we have like a limited amount of people that can buy the things in the future. But it is what it is. But they're not going down at least at the moment, so don't worry too much. It's just basically they are dividing their companies into one more focused in HDDs and the other more on the chip part of the thing in terms of memory and RAM and all that stuff there. Basically this is it. Regarding the merge with Kioxia, basically that's it. I don't see any more news coming, because supposedly the SQ Enix, which one of those investors that was on Kioxia, said no, thank you very much, we're going to lose power in the position that we have at the moment, and we don't want that. Regarding studio stuff, Bungie is the latest in gaming studios to suffer layoffs. Of course, this is have to do a lot with I think mainly it's during the pandemic, about people went around, or the companies went around hiring a lot of people to work remotely, and of course to a certain degree a lot of the studios want, after the restrictions finished, they wanted people to start working again on a more physical manner. Even though a lot of work can be done remotely, I suppose, but also in terms of security, I think it opens them up, like to hackers and all that stuff. So everything is distributed online. It's more easy to get around, or at least you have more opportunities in a remote work situation to get more targets if you are inclined to do so. I think it's a lot of that, because if you think about it, if you can save money on like an office and all the energy that it consumes and the monthly expenses, it compensates in terms of financial, makes more sense to a certain degree remote work on this kind of thing on studios. But then again, you have to deal with managing all that people, putting them all in sync. If you have them all in one place, it's easier to get around and managing all those persons. Even though you might gain some time, but you lose a little bit more money on the production side. But yeah, it is what it is. Again, a lot of studios have been laying off, and again, I think it's a lot of them. In the case of Epic, it's a little bit of overstretching a little bit their legs. But yeah, a lot of from Meta to Microsoft cutting a lot of workplaces. It's the hiring spree, trying to accommodate themselves to like a new situation at the time of the lockdowns and everything, and they over contracted people to a certain degree, and now they have to let them go because it doesn't make sense to have that expense on personnel. So yeah, and in case of Bungie, they basically the final shape delayed to June of next year, and Marathon, I think it's one of the games, like a first multiplayer shooter that they announced, it's delayed to 2025. I think it was for the next year. I saw one of those live stream kind of things from Xbox, no, PlayStation, because the Bungie is part of PlayStation, was acquired by them last year or 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah, they had to delay this one. But yeah, regarding regarding the layoff stuff, this is what I have for the moment. And similarly, Alan Wake 2 is being patched here and there. Not a lot of information regarding the patches because supposedly they cannot keep up with the updating their site regarding the patches stuff, but it's mainly bugs and some fixes and some localization issues that the game has, which is not that huge of a deal. But I think they can, from what I've been seeing, they can do a little bit more optimization side, mainly when it comes to the engine itself for lower end machines. But yeah, I think we don't see, I didn't see any complaints of like major bugs breaking the game or something like that. It's more about like localization and some bugs that it's like stuff that is not supposed where to be, but it's nothing major from the campaign. But yeah, it's been like this. I don't know if they are planning anything like major, like a patch or something like that. This is just a patch, like a big patch to solve some of the issues that might be there. I didn't follow up too much Alan Wake because I don't get too much spoiled here. I only played Alan Wake 1. I'm kind of see how I'm going to integrate replaying Alan Wake and then Control, because I didn't play Control also, and then see if I can do all in one run and reach to Alan Wake 2. Will take a little while, but yeah, I'm still I still don't know what happened in Control after all these years, after 3 years. So I think I'm protecting myself from spoilers mainly. But yeah, it's basically, as you can see on the Twitter from the official guy there, bug fixes, localization issues. Basically, that's it. And one of those is for one of the achievement stuff. But yeah. Regarding going to wrap up with some gaming deals, we still have the Evil Within 2 for free on the Epic Game Store. And Alan Wake, of course, it's only available at the moment on the Epic Games. That's why it's all over the place here. We got on Steam. We still have this one, Dead Space, the remake. So the one that came out this year. It's 40% off, which is good. Again, this game is a remake and basically improved on everything that the original one had, and the story is more comprehensive because basically all these years people already kind of know what's happened. So it's and even if people don't know, never played this game or not aware of this franchise, the story is more comprehensive in how it unravels around the player here. It has more stuff there. We got Miasma Chronicles, the same guys that did Mutineer Zero. You got the bundle from the two games, 64% off. I think it's a good deal there. But the Miasma Chronicles 60% off, and the Mutineer Zero, I think it's going around the same one. I covered this recently. We got Shadow Tactics, Blades of the Shogun, 90% off. Usually it's what it's been. It's kind of an older game from 2016, but yeah, it's similar to older Commando style games, like in the 90s, I think. if not mistaken. But if you like this kind of games, I think this game is an excellent one. Overall, positive reviews all over the place if you like this kind of gameplay here. We got the Batman Arkham series, the Arkham collection basically, which is the it's Arkham Asylum, the Asylum Game of the Year edition, Arkham City Game of the Year edition, Arkham and Arkham Knight, Arkham Knight and Arkham Knight Season Pass. So it's like everything there, the trilogy, 85% off. I think it's very, very good. I already have the Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, both of them, the Game of the Year edition. I only need this one to complete. I'm not sure if I'm going to make any kind of gaming series on this one. It's been done all over the place. I kind of like the games, but I'm not very in depth on the thing there. But yeah, if you like the Batman games, you should buy this series if you can. It's very good price here. We got also, sorry about that, the Darkest Dungeon. This is the first game. It's 80% off, but then we got a lot of bundles here. The Iron Crown. The Iron Crown is with the second one. I think it's the Ancestral Edition. I'm not sure. I think it's got all the little DLCs they put out throughout the years. Very good game. Turn-based combat, dark fantasy, roguelike. Got the drones you have to do, then the permanent upgrades on the village, plus the upgrades that you have to do for your squads. You got a huge roster from what I saw, and then you got to manage like fear and panic and all that stuff there. It's pretty intricate. The second one is in the same line than the first one, but yeah, they are pretty good games if you like this kind of gameplay here. And we got Doom, the reboot to a certain degree, and the Eternal one. They are also in promotion. You got the franchise bundle, $30, but it's all these games here, even the older ones. And we got also, if you want to buy Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. But yeah, 75% off the Doom, the first one, and then the Eternal is 60% off. This is the Ancient Gods Standard Edition, $13. But the deluxe edition is with all this DLC, $23. I don't know, if you like very much the first one, I think this one is pretty worthwhile. Also, I didn't play. I think it's as I said, this kind of first person. I like to see them here and there. I always played a little bit here and there the Doom games, but it's too much for me. Too many things happening at the same time. I get a little bit lost when I do this kind of games. But yeah, I think it's a pretty reference shooter here. They did great things here with this reboot to a certain degree. And then last we got Slay the Spire. Again, this is kind of my jam. Roguelike deck builder. And it's one of those that revamped the interest in this kind of games. Again, overwhelmingly positive. It's been out for a few years, and when it's in promotion, it's one of those that you need to have. And also, when it's not in promotion, this an indie team developer that did this, and I think they deserve all the support they can get still to this day. And this game is excellent. We got the new game here. I have to check that out. Gotta get a bit lost on the things that I have to cover here, but yeah, I recommend highly this game. And I'm going to wrap up here, guys, for today with a plug for my Patreon, basically for access support. That access support at the moment is for getting more storage, so I can have backups from the projects that I do for my private clients, and also to have some space for the videos that I do for the channel. Basically, that at the moment, that's my urgent necessity here. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, Kunamy Master out.